Burnout in policing doesn't usually happen suddenly. Most officers don't wake up one day and decide they can't do the job anymore. Instead, it develops slowly, often without the officer realizing it at first. Early in the career, the job feels meaningful, engaging, even exciting. But after several years, many officers notice something different. Motivation drops, patience decreases, calls feel repetitive, and off duty, it becomes harder to mentally disconnect from work. This isn't simply stress or fatigue. Law enforcement creates a specific type of mental load that accumulates over time, and that's why burnout tends to appear faster in this profession than in others. A lot of officers notice burnout first in small ways. It might start with dreading certain types of calls you used to handle easily. You may feel more mentally drained after a normal shift than you did after busy ones early in your career. Some officers begin counting hours left in the shift more often, even when nothing major has happened. None of this means you suddenly dislike the job. It means your brain has been under continuous cognitive load for a long time without enough true recovery. One of the biggest differences between policing and normal jobs is vigilance. During a typical shift, an officer is never fully relaxed. Even during routine activities, driving, reports, conversations, part of their brain stays alert for potential threats. Over time, this constant state of alertness prevents the mind from fully recovering, even when the shift ends. The brain doesn't immediately switch off the awareness just because you went home. Hyper-awareness doesn't immediately turn off when the shift ends. Many officers notice they still scan rooms, watch people's hands, or feel uneasy sitting with their back to a door even when off duty. The brain has learned that paying attention prevents danger. The problem is that when this state becomes constant, the nervous system rarely reaches full relaxation and recovery becomes incomplete. Another major factor is exposure. Most careers expose people to a balanced range of experiences: positive interactions, neutral tasks, occasional stress. Law enforcement is different. Officers regularly see conflict, accidents, domestic disputes, and people at some of the worst moments of their lives. The human brain is not designed to repeatedly process high-intensity negative situations without psychological cost. Over time, this shifts perception. Many officers begin to expect conflict even outside of work, which contributes to mental exhaustion. Another thing that quietly changes is perception of people. After years of responding to conflict and crisis, the brain begins to expect problems rather than normal behavior. Officers might find themselves more skeptical, less trusting, or mentally preparing for confrontation even in everyday situations. This constant anticipation of problems consumes mental energy, which contributes heavily to long-term exhaustion. Policing also requires emotional control. During difficult calls, officers can't react emotionally. They have to stay composed, professional, and decisive regardless of what they see or experience. That skill is necessary for the job, but it has a side effect. Continually suppressing emotional reactions prevents proper processing of stressful events. Instead of resolving, experiences accumulate mentally. This is why burnout often shows up off duty first. Irritability increases, patience decreases, sleep becomes less restorative, Some officers withdraw socially or lose interest in hobbies they used to enjoy. They may not consciously connect it to work, but the brain has been operating under prolonged stress load. In many careers, stress occurs in periods followed by recovery. In law enforcement, the recovery periods are often interrupted. Night shifts, court schedules, overtime, and unpredictable calls prevent consistent mental decompression. Without recovery cycles, mental fatigue compounds instead of resetting. Burnout doesn't mean someone is weak or unsuited for the profession. It's often a predictable response to prolonged exposure without structured recovery. Small habits help. Separating work routines from home routines, structured downtime, physical activity for stress reliefs, consistent sleep patterns when possible. Many officers don't recognize burnout because they still perform their duties well. Burnout isn't an ability, it's depletion. You can still do the job effectively while feeling mentally drained outside of work, and that's often when people become concerned about staying in the career long term. Many officers believe burnout is simply part of the career they must endure. But understanding why it happens is the first step to preventing long-term health and career consequences. The goal isn't to avoid the job. It's to stay healthy enough to do it well and still have energy for life outside of it. If anyone is interested to take the next step, I've put together a course. All you have to do is reach out to me. It's in the description. As always, stay safe out there.